Welcome back to your beginner series. In today's workout, we're taking the concepts we've covered in workout number 1 through 3, and now we're putting those together into a sequence on the reformer that you guys can use as check-in, as tactile feedback, as points of reference if you don't have a mirror or someone watching you, just to make sure that you're practicing good form throughout your exercises and different orientations. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and get started. First position, we're going to be using the foot bar up at normal height. In terms of spring tension, you can go ahead and load your springs up for normal footwork. So for me, I'm going to do 3 red, a blue for my footwork spring. And we're doing a cat-cow a little differently. We'll be taking our hands here on the bar to begin, and again, flexion extension of our spine. So I've got my toes tucked forward right here. I'm trying to find a neutral in this position. It looks like you're holding a little mini plank. As I round, I want to round and scoop. Exhale, exhale, exhale. And as I open, I inhale through. So this is also a good way to check in with where our body is, ribs, head, shoulders, and tail. Notice what is holding on to a little bit of tension right here. Let's use our breath today. Inhale to expand. Exhale to pull under and in. Let's do that again. Inhale to expand. Exhale under and in. Keep going. It's an inhale and exhale. Let's go with one more. It's an inhale. And finally, an exhale and scoop and round. Fantastic. From that position, we're going to swing our legs under, lay down on our back, and do a little bit more through the core just to help us warm up a little bit and be organized in terms of where our body is laying on our back. You have options with your hands for this movement. You could be holding the sides of your reformer down here, down below. Your shoulder blocks are also an option, or even the reformer above you like this. For me and my body, I'm going to start with my hands here on the side of the reformer. Legs are in a tabletop position, and I'm just doing my check-in. My head, my shoulders, my ribs, and my pelvis. I'm in a true neutral. I start here. Now today I'm shifting my legs towards my left as I inhale. And then I'm going to exhale, pull back at center. Go towards your right, inhale. Yes, your hip lifts off the mat. And exhale. Your shoulder, however, stays on the mat as much as you can. Your lower body is kind of pivoting off your upper spine, your T-spine right here. And again, inhaling over. Exhaling back. We're trying to use our stacking awareness and just notice what is lifting off that mat surface under our body. Keeping the shoulders, letting the hip lift, maintain the head and shoulders. Feel those obliques starting to kick in. Here we go towards the right. Exhale back. One more each. Squeezing on the knees. Last one. And all the way back. Let's take a moment right here. We're going to bring our hands to our shin area. We're going to lift our head. Just give yourself a little baby lift right here, scooping up. From that position, now I want you to tuck your chin, look towards your knees, reach your arms by your side, hold for 5, squeeze your knees for 4, for 3, for 2, hands on top of the legs, lower back down, take a deep breath here. Go again, lift up, reach the arms, breathing for 5, keep that hold for 4, for 3, keep the reach for 2, pulling back and down, lower the head. Let's go one more time. Here we go, lifting up, squeeze those knees together, reach those arms, hold that for 5, 4, 3, 2, pull back and in. Gently pull the knees into your chest right here. Give them a little squeeze. Excellent. Now let's come on back to that same tabletop position. We're going to do more of a circular movement. If the bar is in the way, you have the freedom to lower the bar, but we're going in the circle pretty small on the ceiling today, both directions, alternating. Take the same amount of that hug of hold on the reformer, either below or above. Here we go, legs towards the left as we inhale. Now I'm going to come down towards my foot bar with my toes. I make a circle on the ceiling across the pelvis to the other hip. Back at your center. Go the other way. Shift over. Think of the stacking here. Pulling through the center. Find the stacking. Then pull all the way back. And to your start. To your left. So you can, if you'd like to incorporate the breath pattern for this, it's an inhale to shift the legs. Your exhale is the very long, 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 long circle all the way back. Inhale, and then exhale. And inhale, exhale. And again, inhale. So notice we're adding this rotation to that movement, which requires our upper body to stay on the mat and anchor us as our lower body travels away. Every time you find that center line through the back, through the pelvis, you're thinking of a hug of the abdominals. Woo! All the way back and in. One more each direction. It's a shift. It's down and through and all the way back. Last one right here. Shift it all the way around. And finally, pull the knees into your chest. Good. Excellent. From that position, let's go ahead and take our feet onto the foot bar. Push your body back a little bit onto your shoulder blocks. Make sure that you're in a true neutral. So just like this whole beginner series, right? It's just about you creating this awareness. For me, when I'm on my back, I have no mirror, I have no visual. I need to just kind of feel where I'm at. I use my hands here on my pelvis. Do I feel like one hip is hiking up? I can anchor down. And then I notice again what is touching the mat underneath my body, right? So I've got that true neutral going on. Let's start today with a wider position. So I've got this wider position right here. Heels are pressing into the bar, feet are flexed. Let's go ahead and keep the neutral. Exhale, pushing out. Inhale in. Exhale, 2. Inhale in. 3. And just really focusing on maintaining that neutral pelvis right here as we press the legs out. And 6, almost there, you guys. 7, focus on your breath today. Here's 8. Exhale, 9. And 10, come back and in. Let's go with our toe boxes in the same wide position. The heels are elevated. Think about your center toe, your big toe, maintain your pelvic position. And then we go out, exhale, we inhale. 2, 3, and 4. Exhale, 5, 6, exhale, 7. Think of that standing into those ankles right here. 9. Last one is number 10. Let's go ahead and come all the way back and in. Awesome. All right, now let's go into parallel stance. I've got my feet flexed here, hip width apart. And for today's class, again, we're just focusing on pelvic position. Stays neutral. It's an exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, and 3. And 4, just getting some circulation through the lower body while maintaining our stacked position. We have 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Very nice. Gently come in. Take a moment. We're going to transfer to the toes, and our heels again are lifted just slightly, keeping that active ankle pushing through. 1, 2, exhale, 3. Think of standing tall in those legs today without locking out the knees. Remember our stacking. Keep going for 5. Exhaling, 6. Maintaining the toe boxes. 7, 8. Last 2. We got this. And last 1. Gently come in. Let's pause. Hug the knees in towards your chest. Take a moment. Rock side to side. Give yourself a little bit of that hug inward right here. All right, you guys. Woo, feels so good. Let's go ahead and slowly come on up to the side. And we can talk about some abdominal work we can incorporate with a lot of what we've learned already. So let's remove the red spring, 2 red, and the blue. Now let's keep 1 red on, and I'm going to actually tack on a yellow. So 1 red and 1 yellow, which is 1 full spring plus a quarter spring. Let's come back down to our back. We're going to add a couple of different elements with the abdominals. So I've got my hands in my small loops again. I've got my arms directly over my shoulders. I'm already engaging through my lats and my armpits. Draw both legs up to tabletop. Excellent. So from here, I'm really going to focus on, can I keep the tension in my arms without creeping up by my ears? Draw your arms all the way by your side. You can turn your palms to face in and think of physically reaching like you want to touch your foot bar. My feet are flexed, my knees are squeezing, and my pelvis stays neutral. Here we go. We're going to dip our heels slowly as we breathe in, just to the point I can maintain my neutral. I exhale, I pull my knees in. Inhale forward. Exhale back. So notice I have this nice, juicy, long exhale, which is really going to help me maintain my abdominal position and not holding on to any air. Here's an inhale. Here's an exhale. Here's your inhale. Notice the tension in the arms can, yes, start to build up. Keep that reach down towards your foot bar. It's an inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Last 4. And 3. And 2. And your last one right here. Exhale back in. Isn't that lovely? Lift those arms up, rest your feet. So take a second, windshield those knees side to side. So that's a great way to feel all the effort you've learned so far about where your shoulders are in space. You can't see them. You have to kind of feel them not creep up and use your lat muscles, as well as keeping that neutral pelvis. Great. Now from here, let's go with the same arm position at the top. Draw both legs up to tabletop. As I push out with my right leg, both arms will press down. You can lift your head or not, it's up to you, but here we go. The right leg presses, both arms reach, come back in. Left side, come back in. Notice you're not hiking your hips, you're not doing anything different with that lower body, you're just pushing on that imaginary straight line. Again, you can't see it, but you can feel it. If your ribs start to pop off that mat, that's a sign that we've lost that neutral, right? We're now compensating because we can't hold on with the core. One trick that we could also incorporate, if going out is too much for you, you can go up towards the sky. That's one way to modify it, okay? So we have some options. Keep going for 3 more. For 2. Good. Maintaining that shape. And last one each. Woo! And gently come back and in. Lower each foot down. Take a moment right here. Big breath in through the nose. And a full exhale. The last element we're going to incorporate for today's workout is lifting the head in a shape where we can just kick the ceiling. So the arms are just going to go along for the ride. Legs will kick up. Head will lift. We're going to hold that for 5 counts. It's going to teach us again how to engage the lats. So here we go. We lift, we kick, we reach, we hold for 5. Keep that for 4. For 3. You got this for 2. Gently back down. Good. Just 2 more like that. Teaching us the concept of how to wrap and squeeze and lift everything for 5, 4, 3, 2, and in. We'll do one more together. Lifting for 5, 4, 3, 2, and gently come back. Beautiful job. Let's take a moment here. Bring the straps back where they live. And when we come up to the side, we're just going to take off the yellow spring. So that means we have one red spring. And let's go into some mermaid with some rotation. I've got my shin up against my shoulder blocks here. I'm now going to focus on rotating my ribs while I keep my pelvis. Hand in the middle of the bar. Reach up and overhead. Take a nice juicy inhale right here. Now anchor through and rotate and grab the bar. From this position, I'm going to pull with the arm that just arrived, push with the opposite hand, and really focus on this really good stretch across my left arm down to my hip. From there, I'm just going to stay here, try to breathe through the back of the rib cage, and a full exhale. Do that again. Breathe through the back of the rib cage, and a full exhale. One more time. Breathe through the back of the ribs, expanding, and exhale completely. You can lift your head, lift your chest, coming up through the center right here, opening up through your torso, and rotating through our body. Good. Gently come around. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So here we go. We've got our hand in the center. We're going to reach up and overhead. Create that gorgeous inhale stretch. Anchor the arm onto the bar. Other arm gets a little wider. And here we go. It's a push and a pull. I'm pulling with my right hand this time. Pushing with my left arm. Now can I stay here and breathe through that back and the ribs? Full exhale. Do that again. Inhale. Exhale. And 3. 2 more. Feels so good to open up the back of the ribs. And your last one. Lifting up through the center. Open up. Feel this gorgeous stretch all the way through the front of your torso. Feels amazing. All right, let's go ahead and come off to the side. From this position, I'm going to leave the red on, and I just want to add my long box. So what we'll do is take the box on. In this series, we're taking a seat in the middle facing the end of the reformer. So I've got that one single red on. I'm checking in with my position, my pelvis, my body right here. Nice tall spine. Also thinking of this distance of my hip and my rib cage, right? Not collapsing into my abdominals. So trying to lift up through that center right by your navel. And then with that, we're going to be going into some rotational rows. So if I grab my left strap with my right hand, I need to grab right above my strap right here. If I want to rotate with that side pulling, I got to start facing my left. So I've got my left hand behind my head. My trunk is rotated. However, I'm not letting go of my ribs or my back. So I'm keeping my elements stacked. Find your sit bones. Remember our awareness. And now we're going to pull and rotate towards the right. If that is too heavy for each of you, what you can do is either lighten your spring or you can get on the small loop right here. Okay, it just depends on where you grab it to make it more tension for each of you. Exhaling 2. Inhale around. So with this, keep your sit bones even on the box, which means that you're not rocking side to side and you're really focusing on that squeeze of your back. Rotating around. You got this. Keep going. We have 5 more. And 4. And 3. And 2. 1 more. Very nice. We're going to come back, replace our strap, continue for the other side and other arm. grabbing where you need to. It's the small loop or above is fine. I've got my left hand on this side. I've got my other arm behind my head. So tall again. Notice if you're a little bit tight on one side, it might be harder for you to find true rotation. Make sure your hips aren't shifting. Stay right over those sit bones. Let's rotate. Twist. Inhaling back. Opening up on that side of the body. Squeezing on the opposite side. 3. Inhale, exhale, 4. Inhale, exhale, 5. Inhale, we got this. 6. Last 4. Keep the stacking. Watch your rib cage from jetting forward. For 3, keep the head in the chest. For 2, and then your last one right here. And all the way back. Beautiful job. Nice. Okay, so now what we're going to do is have both of our straps, and I want to grab above both of my knots. So it depends on your reformer, but basically you're above your handles right here. I've got my palms facing in. I'm tall again. I'm doing a neutral row, which is just facing forward. Elbows by the side. I squeeze the back without getting up in my ears. And I lengthen forward. Squeeze 2 and lengthen. Squeeze 3 and lengthen. And 4 and lengthen. Exhale 5, lengthen. 6, and notice that you're stacking again. The rib cage isn't jutting forward. You're just pulling your body through your arms. Last 2. One more right here. I know. Think of that big breath out, squeezing everything, and then gently releasing back. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and take off our box. We're going to be doing a little bit of standing work on the side of your reformer. All right. So in terms of spring tension, you can still have the red spring on. If you want a little bit more spring and challenge, you would add a yellow. So let's go ahead and find a lunge position right here. Your lunge is going to keep your back leg off the bed. So I've got my back leg super long, and here comes my true lunge position. My front knee is bending, vertical shin. And what I want to do is make this challenging. So my outside arm right here on my right goes to my hip. From that position, I am coming up and in, keeping the stacking of my ribs, my pelvis, my head, and my shoulders, and gently back down into a deep lunge. So 90% of my effort is on my outside leg as I continue this lunge position. And I know that there's obviously some stretch in the other hip, but most of your effort should be on the outside leg. Keep going. Here's 7. Here is 8. Should be like you're feeling your glutes, but you're keeping the stacking of your torso and not letting go on your ribs. Last 2. The last one, you're just going to hold it. Now, both hands can come to the bar, especially for beginners. I want you to bring your body weight into your outside foot. Hold here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and gently make your way back and in. Beautiful. Let's walk around to the other side and do the same sequence. Here comes the foot on the block. Other foot is here. I've got my long leg, and then my hand is here on the outside. So remember, you're stacking. Pull the ribs in. 90% effort on the outside leg, lifting up 1, 2. Think about that diagonal movement, forward and back. Keep going. All your efforts on your outside leg, your hands just here just to support you. Last 4. And 3. 2. You got this. Last 1. And 1. We're going to come back down, both hands on the bar, keep the stacking. What we learned in these classes is keep everything together. Here we go for 10, Use your outside leg. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and softly make your way in. Lovely job. Excellent. So what we're going to do now is lower the foot bar down, change your spring to a blue, remove the red, and then the headrest is coming up. If you guys don't have it up already, go ahead and bring that up for yourselves. Let's go ahead and lay on our side. We're doing a side lying hip series. So a lot of people will hike the hip for this series and move their back a little bit as they're moving their leg around. I want you to think about the awareness. Laying on your side, hips are stacked, knees are stacked, and you're gonna bring your top foot into your long loop. So I'm gonna use this hand right here and hold my shoulder block and then lower my head like that. What you can do is think about the distance of your hip crest on the top here and your rib cage, keeping some of that length in the series, okay? And also underneath, you can pull your rib cage off the bed and create some space versus kind of dumping into that surface. So a couple of points to think about for the awareness. First position here is going to be pushing the leg down by bending and extending through the knee, okay? Exhaling 2. And we're thinking of, can we keep the stacked elements again as we press through that leg? Keep going. And 5. You got this. Keep going. Push through that glute. 6, 7, and 8. Now, keep the leg long. The leg sweeps forward. It's long. It sweeps back just the point the cord comes close to your body right here. You're able to squeeze. Keep the hip distance of your leg. You can't see it, but you can feel it. If your leg starts to dip down, take a peek and make sure that you're just in line with that hip right here. And 4. Feels so good to challenge ourselves in keeping everything stacked in a sideline position. We have 4 more left. We got this. And 3. And 2. Very nice. Your last one on this side is 1. Gently come back and in. Remove your strap. You're going to come all the way into home base right here. It's a quick series. Gently come on up. We're going to transfer to the other side, coming around. And here we go. Stacking again, creating the awareness. So underneath my body, there's space. And I've got this top hip crest and rib cage, also creating that space. Here comes my strap. Gently placing it at my foot, and I'm holding onto that shoulder block. Here we go. It's a push and in on the imaginary straight line. 3, 4, keep going, pushing down. And think of that glute connection. Last 2. And hold it. Now we're going to sweep the leg forward. Don't lose the ribs and lose the abs. Pull back and squeeze that glute. Slow and steady. 2. Just really focusing on that squeeze and that stacking sensation. And 4. We got this. Keep going. Exhaling 5. 6. And 7. And 8. Beautiful job. Bend your knee. Come on in slowly and carefully. Bring the strap back where it lives. Excellent. Thanks so much for joining me for this beginner series. I hope you guys enjoyed the 4 workouts where we went through different concepts that are going to keep coming up for you in various classes on YouTube, maybe in an in-person class, and it gives you the awareness points for where your body is as you're performing the exercises. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.